It's good to see everyone on this Friday. It's nice to see all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Tina Jackson. I serve as Assistant Commissioner of Workforce Education at the Coordinating Board. Glad to be with you on this Friday to talk about such an important topic. We are talking about planning and designing and the importance of the work around Texas reskilling and upskilling education. So it has been an honor and joy to watch this program, the TRUE program, really grow over the past 4.5 years now. And we are just excited about this new phase of funding. And it's really leading to more scalability across the state of Texas. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Manny, could you go to the next slide, please? I'm just going to provide a quick overview. You all know this, but for the purpose of recording, this is important work. We know that we needed to think about how to be more intentional about planning and designing here at the coordinating board with the TRUE program. And so now what we're doing is we're focusing in on pathways, CTE pathways that really are closely related to those high demand fields. And you all have done a great job of putting together plans that we think will help to lead this work across the state. Next slide, please, Manny. And just speaking of that, I am excited about the fact that you are all here on the call today. El Paso Community College, you're doing great work. Lamar Institute of Technology, I don't see you, but I know you are on the call. Navarro, you're here. Thank you all so much for your work. Odessa, we appreciate you. Panola College, just great things that you are all doing. Southwest Texas College and Texas State Technical College. You all have exciting grants here, and these programs are really going to help us to lead our TRUE pathway design and planning work. So thank you all for being here today. I'm going to turn the floor over to my colleague, Dr. Sherry Reynes, to take it away and talk about the agenda for today.
Sure, thank you, Dr. Jackson. Next slide, please, Manny. So to introduce myself, I'm Sherry Reynes. I'm a director of the Workforce Division here at TATCB, and my colleague and teammate, Manny Garcia, is another face that you're seeing. Manny is running traps for this meeting. And so if you have a chat question of the technical nature for Manny, you can just do that in the chat, but he is definitely here for us. So we're doing our little greetings portion for the next minute or two. Then we're going to go into grantee team self-introductions. Thanks to all of you for sending in as pre-work your slides. And what you're going to do is you've got about 7 minutes each. You don't have to use the full 7 if you don't want, but 7 minutes each to talk a little bit about your project, introduce your project, and introduce yourselves to the rest of this group, this cohort. You can tell Manny, if you have more than one slide, simply say, next slide, please, and Manny will do that for you. Okay, that's our next section, and it's a really important moment for us all to identify each other and understand a little bit more about what we're up to. We'll do a short break at 11 o'clock, and then we're going to do a session of about 25 minutes that sort of goes deeper into the project contours and expectations. Kim Lowry, Executive Director of the Texas Success Center, and I will talk through some of the sort of key elements of what you all are trying to accomplish in this coming year. And we'll also take questions and answers, of course, that you have. Then we're going to do a short breakout session. And well, hopefully the logistics of the breakout works. This is the very first time this thing is done, breakout sessions on Zoom. So we are part of your experimental group and pilot group in so many ways. This is just yet another one. We're going to be breaking out, and you'll see your assignments of your breakout room and have a discussion about what elements of this project you are looking forward to the most. Then we'll talk a little bit about what's up ahead, next 6 months, and adjourn on or before noon, depending on how we're doing. So with that, I'll just do a little bit of a check. We've got...
Can I interrupt you really quick, Dr. Reynes?
Sure.
I forgot to say something. I wanted to thank Dr. Kimberly Lowry for participating as our technical assistant partner, one of our technical assistance partner, but definitely playing a huge role in this work at TAC, serving as the Texas Success Center Executive Director. Thank you so much Dr. Lowry. We appreciate you. We appreciate the vision and the guidance that you've provided for this work, not only today, but as we begin to roll out this new planning design grant. So thank you so much, Dr. Lowry.
Right. So we haven't said it before. We'll be saying it again. You all are the first. You are the first 7. And we're going to be needing to learn from each other, but we need to learn from you as an agency and a state. So a lot of what we're going to be talking about is, that's why also the technical assistance portion of this is so important. Coherence, cross information, a sense that we're all in this together. We are in what we would previously, I think, called a learning community, forming a learning community or a cohort of folks who see each other, know each other. Good stuff. With that, Manny, if you could go to the next slide. We're going to go in alphabetical order on grantee team self-introductions before we get to the next slide. I'm noticing that some of the participants have changed a little bit. Some folks aren't here, some folks are substituting for others, but you know who you are. So we're going to go through alphabetically, and I will maybe call you out. We're going to start with our colleagues from El Paso, and then move on to LIT, and then Navarro, and then Odessa, and then Panola, and then Southwest Texas, and TSTC filling up. So folks in El Paso, thank you again for being here. An hour difference has not seemed to hinder you at all. I love it. Are you all ready? We'll start your slides.
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Okay, terrific. And by the way, if everyone could, if you can, as I said, keep your camera on. You can mute yourself or put your microphone live as you prefer. All right, go, take it away. Thanks so much.
Okay.
And we'll go to the next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Reynes and Dr. Jackson, for the opportunity of including us, Far West Texas College, into your new True Pathway Design and Planning. We are very excited here at El Paso Community College to spearhead our pharmacy tech pathway design and planning grant. Let me start by introducing some of our stakeholders on the call. I'll start with Dr. Nader Rasai, who is the pharmacy tech faculty coordinator, and he is going to be instrumental in trying to draft the stackability credentials that we are planning on doing. The second one would be our dual credit counselor coordinator, Ms. Diana Medina, who is still on the call. She is a new addition to the grant. Waiting on Dean Badiou, who is the dual credit and early college high school dean and guru of the dual credit. We currently have, I think, 41 early college and PTECs in the county. And we work with 12 different ISDs. So all of them are working with us on this grant. Of course, Linda Camacho is our grants manager, dealing with the logistics and the paperwork going back and forth between our two institutions. And lastly, last but not least, of course, is Dr. Michelle Woodhouse. She is our technical advisor regarding this grant. She was nominated and appointed by Dr. Lowry out of the Texas Success Center. So we are very excited to start off on this grant for the next year and a half. So next slide, please. Manny, thank you very much. So the plan for our EPCC through PDP is to establish a stackable workforce-aligned academic pipeline, starting at the high school level and working up towards a complete associate degree of pharmacy tech. But going through these channels, we're going to design a level 1 pharmacy tech certificate focusing on retail pharmacies, then going upwards into level 2 hospital pharmacy using sterile compounding certification, and lastly the AAS. Along the way, we will try to enhance and expand some ICLS, if you will, credentials such as the sterile compounding and immunization administration through that program. We will be working with mainly the 3 largest school districts, El Paso, Socorro, and Isleta. We have currently few courses that are offered as dual credit. We're going to expand on those and try to design level 1 retail pharmacy and going forward. So Manny, please, next slide. Thank you. So if you just look at this slide, I was trying to make it as visible and as clear as possible. This is just a confirmation of what I just said. So we have currently 4 courses offered at Socorro Independent School District. We have maybe one course as sterile compounding offered at EPISD. We'd like to design the level 1, which is made of 21 credit hours. And then we have a level 2 currently, and then AAS. As I explained, we have also these 2 ICLCs that we are working towards. Thank you, Manny. Next. Thank you. So that confirms exactly what I said with the 3 largest school districts. Next, please. Dr. Woodhouse, we just started talking. We had an introductory meeting last Friday, with all the EPCC stakeholders with Dr. Woodhouse. So we are starting with the implementation of this grant. Next, please. And I already introduced our EPCC stakeholders of this grant. Once Dean Badillo comes online, because she is currently at another meeting, you will get to meet her, I hope. And that probably is it.
Thanks so much, Dr. Hajar. I appreciate it so much. Next on tap is Lamar Institute of Technology, and that's Paul, Anna, and Ami, I think.
Hi, and I'm going to be the one presenting. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ana Pereda. I am the Executive Director of Workforce here at LIT. And today I have with me Ami Kamara. Ami is our grant writer. So she's the one who made the magic happen. She wrote the grant and we got it. Also, I have here with me Paul Bertrand. Paul is currently traveling. He took a well-deserved day off, but he joined this meeting. So that's why you don't see his camera on, but he's here. So thank you, Paul. And also I have here Alec Hudson. He is our TA partner from Lamar University, from the Center of Mystery Management and Sciences from Lamar. So we only have one slide. It's a little bit crowded, but everything that we're going to do is right here. So what we want to do with this grant is we want to design a fully articulated stackable credential pathway in gas management and instrumentation. At the beginning of this year, Alec from the Center for Mystery Management reached out to us and told us a program that Lamar University wanted to offer. and it's in gas management and instrumentation. Here in this area, we are highly oil and gas. So all our industry expansions, everything is related to our industry. And we notice the need for specific training in gas management and instrumentation. So the way we're going to start is we're going to start with our dual credit students. LIT has a very robust dual credit program, but also it's going to be open to adult learners. And we're going to start with either an occupational safety award or level 1 and 2 certificates. That's where we are going to be partnering with the CMMS, so we can divide the training and offer some certificates. After that, the students will come back to LIT. We are Lamar Institute of Technology. We are a technical college here in the area, and we have already a degree in instrumentation. So all the classes that they took in the certificate will be able to use it for credit purposes if they want to pursue a degree. And once they have their associates, if they want to go back to Lamar, Lamar has several bachelors in science in engineering and chemical engineering. So if they want to continue at Lamar, they can do so. Also, what we want to offer is we want to offer this training to Lamar engineering students. If they are about to finish their degree and they want to add another certification to their resume, they can take our training. And we are excited to be working with Alec and his team. Alec is the associate director for the CMMS. What we are going to be working together is they have an advisory committee. They receive a lot of employer feedback. So they are going to be gathering all that information. And we are going to be working together, having meetings to see where the needs are. What are the specific needs for this training? We're also going to dive into the data. We're going to analyze the wage and the labor market data of our area, and then see if what offer we can have for this. We want the mechanisms that we want to use. This is going to be continuing education-based training that is going to transform into credit-bearing coursework. And most of the assessment that we are going to be working for the next year or less than a year is going to be faculty. Alec and his team is going to be evaluating LIT's faculty, LIT's equipment and facilities to see what we have to do next. And that falls right into the True Grant to see if we need to hire more faculty, if we need to train our faculty more in that specific gas management. We've been having talks with the Gas Management Institute, so we can see where we can collaborate. And our targeted occupations is our main occupations in this area. We have a lot of technicians. We have a lot of people that are out there working in the industry, and they need certificates. They need certificates because we are, our expansions are going on all the time, our expansions, our turnarounds. So we need people trained so they can go directly to join the workforce or continue being in the workforce. Also, like I said, we want to train our engineers so they have that particular skill, and also managers and supervisors. So that's in a nutshell what we are going to be doing. Again, we are very grateful that we are working with Lamar. They are our neighbors right across the street. They are a 4-year institution. They are really good at engineering. So this is going to be helping our workforce in having a clear pathway to a degree.
Thank you so much, Anna. Appreciate you and appreciate the team at LIT in beautiful Beaumont, Texas. All right, next we have Leslie at Navarro. Take it away,
Good morning,
Leslie.
everyone. Thank you, Dr. Reynes. I am Leslie Hayes. I'm the Dean of Workforce and Career Pathways. Luckily, during the implementation of our project, I have been over continuing education, adult education, And I was so fortunate to be asked to take on our CTE programs as well. So we're developing a pathway under my repertoire. And so that's kind of what our project looks like, is a pathway. Next slide, please, Manny, and I'll kind of introduce our program. So I've introduced myself. We're working very closely with Dr. Lowry as our technical assistance advisor. Dr. Tara Peters, who wasn't able to join us today, is our project lead. She's our executive director for workforce, career, and technical education. And then Misty Tarver is the director of our Carl Perkins CTE Success Center, and she will be integral piece of our project as we onboard students into our new programming. Next slide, please. So we are developing a Navarro FAME chapter here in our service area. So we work very closely with our business and industry partners. We do business and industry roundtables annually throughout our service area. And our industry partners have spoke often about the lack of qualified workforce that they need with diverse skills in industrial maintenance. And so we are going to be taking our industrial maintenance technology program that we once had and shifting it to an advanced manufacturing technology pathway that's going to align with FAME, which is the Federation for Advanced Manufacturing and Education. And we're going to create the chapter. We have 5 business and industry partners that have committed to host 11 students in the first program that we do. We are creating a very diverse pathway. We already have a dual credit option for IMT here at Navarro College, and so we will continue that. We're also creating an occupational skills award on-ramp through continuing education, and those classes will articulate for credit into the first semester of the AAS as we're creating it now. And then we're also making the level 1 certificate in AMT, and our goal is the AAS in AMT. So to meet FAME requirements, we've advanced our timeline a little bit, and we're going to start this in the fall of 2026. So we're working through all of the coordinating board requirements and to get our academic council approval, all of the things to get on a timeline to start this program next fall. So we will have incumbent workers that will be brought directly from our business partners. We will also be going out and doing recruiting as a FAME chapter from our local high schools to identify students to be sponsored by these employers in our AMT program through this FAME chapter. We are currently working through curriculum development. All of the FAME program is specifically driven by our business and industry partners. They are the board members of our FAME chapter. They are approving the curriculum, identifying and suggesting any changes. And so they are really the driving force, which makes this a really great program because we know that our workforce will be ready to hire our students as they come through the program. I think this is my last slide. I don't think she sent another one, so I think that's it.
Leslie, did you want to say, for those who are not in advanced manufacturing, the FAME model, just a little bit more about the learn and earn presumption of the FAME?
Sure. So the FAME is a national program, and there are chapters throughout all of the states. The Learn and Earn, our students will go to class 3 days a week, I believe, and then they'll work at the partner that is sponsoring them 2 days a week. So they will be decked out in Navarro FAME attire. They will be easily identifiable as Navarro FAME students, and they will be cohorted throughout this 2-year program here at the college and obviously at their job site. But they will be obviously going to class, taking the same classes, and then working and applying the skills that they're learning at the institution during the same time period.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, appreciate that, Navarro. So next on deck is Odessa. You all have a pretty big team, so I'll just let you run. I'm not sure who your spokesperson is today, but go right
Hi,
ahead.
it'll be me. Hi, my name is Tiffany Price.
Dr. Price. Hi.
How's everybody? I too am out of town. We have a two family friends decided to get married on the same weekend, so two different weddings. So we're up in Kansas, but I wanted to hop on and give a little background of our project. And I think I was looking through, I'm on my phone, of course, so it's more challenging, but it looks like from our team, Dana Church is on, who is also our grant writer. So thank you for bringing this project and getting us approved for this project. And then Wissam Akabi, which, yes, he's on as well. So we, and he is going to be the subject matter expert. So he's our instructor in instrumentation and automation, and he's going to help us do our project. We also have Dr. Kimberly Moore, who is our technical advisor. I saw her as well. So we're super excited. And you're gonna hear, we did one slide too. So we crushed everything on this one slide
Love it.
as best we could. So you're gonna hear a lot of the same things. What's interesting about our project is we've been, our industry partners have come to us in different ways and said, okay, well, we need manufacturing. Our LMI data is not shown. We need machining really. Our LMI data doesn't really show that in our area. Of course, we're in the Permian Basin, so just as many of you, oil and gas leads our conversations and leads most of our industry. So we're looking at this as an advanced industrial technician. We do automation really well. We do instrumentation really well. We transfer our engineering partners with UTPB quite well. But what I think we're missing in our area, what we found was the ancillary work that goes around the actual oil and gas industry. So it's going to be an interesting model, and we're super excited to be involved in this grant process. We implemented 2 years at Odessa College a program development process. So we have a pretty, and it's working, and we're working through the kinks, and it's pretty robust, but we think this grant will definitely help us strengthen that project, because ours is different. We found a SIP code. We found what we wanted to focus on in our occupations, but it's going to be inclusive of a lot of different things. We want to put some machining in it as well. So it's going to be an interesting process as we work through the needs that our industry partners need. We're doing stackable as well. We really would like to start with an occupational skills award through our continuing education, stacked all the way into an AAS. Our ISD, our largest ISD partner, well, quite honestly, most of our ISD partners recently have gotten a bond approved. So they're all building these beautiful CTE centers, workforce centers. So at this point, and we have a very robust dual credit partnership. We have more than half of our student population is dual credit. Actually, I think we're closing that gap, but so we want them to start from that. So there's going to be multiple on-ramps for these students. For our adult students, of obviously that occupational skills award. For our dual credit students, that level 1, and it's going to feed into our AAS. And maybe even we have a BAS in automation as well. So we want it to make sure that it stacks and those on and off ramps exist for our students. We know that our students have to work, much like y'all's. So what does that look like? How can we get them the credential they need to go to work, but then come back and continue to continue to work towards those degrees to advance their careers. So our internal team includes our Vice President of Instruction, our Vice President of Student Services, myself as the Associate Vice President of Instruction for Curriculum and Workforce. We have a dual credit partner liaison. We have an academic success coach, which is our advisor. We have Wassam, who I introduced, Dana, Charity, our CE director, and then an associate vice president of student services. And sorry, a bug just landed on me. And then we've got the executive director of our professional learning center. And then our external partners, I did not list our ISD partners, which I should have because they will be a big partner with us. But we have the energy employers. We're going to work with the workforce board or workforce solutions, our local chambers, and then the regional economic development boards for our region as well. And that's all, unless I missed something and Dana or Wassam wants to jump in, but I think that's what we have to present today.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Price, also for being in Kansas and going all the way out here, it's all in quotes, right? To participate with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All righty, next on tap is Panola. We have Natalie Oswald, Jerry Driscoll, Denitra McDaniel. I'm not sure who's going to speak for you. Is it Natalie, Jerry, or?
I will.
Okay.
Good
Go
morning, everyone.
Yeah.
I am Denitra McDaniel. I am the Pathway and Credit for Prior Learning Design Coordinator at Panola. I would like to also introduce other team members who have been working so hard on this grant. We have Jerry Driscoll. He is our Dean of Career and Technical Education. And Natalie Oswald, Vice President of Instruction. And not present on the team call is Andrea Ehrman. She's our curriculum developer working on this grant. This initiative advances Panola College's strategic plan by expanding adult and dual credit access through flexible, accelerated construction supervision pathways that include prior learning credit, continuing education to credit transitions, and clear entry points. So just a little bit of background about our why. Prior to writing this grant, a group of team members here at Panola conducted research, and it was determined that construction supervision was a need in our area. And so a grant was initiated to include that. And so we've already done extensive work in preparing courses for this grant. It is our goal to create pathways for our dual credit learners, for non-traditional learners, and then for our traditional learners as well. And through these pathways, students can earn certificates, OSAs, all of those will be stackable, eventually leading up to an AAS in construction supervision. And so hopefully we all know that education can help establish financial stability. So hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit of economic wealth in our community as well. Jerry, Natalie, do you have anything else to add?
Denitra, who's your technical assistance advisor from Texas Success Center?
Dr. Tamara Williams.
Terrific.
Yes.
That's good to know.
All righty. Thank you all.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Thanks so very much. All right, we're moving on next to Southwest Texas, which is Dr. Mondragon and Michael Bailey. I'm not sure who's going to be speaking for you, but go right ahead.
So that'll be me. I'm Armando Mondragon. I am the Dean of Applied Sciences here at Southwest Texas College. Thank you, Dr. Reynes, for giving us the opportunity to speak about our grant.
Great to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. We also have our consultant from TSC, Dr. Michelle Woodhouse, on the call. Dr. Mike Bailey was not able to be here. He had to be out for health reasons. But he is a dean of liberal arts, so he'll be working along with me to get this pathway going. We also have our division chair for allied health programs. She's also out for health reasons, so there's some health issues going on here in South Texas today.
Oh dear, oh dear.
We also have our director of the School of Nursing, that Amanda Hadley. She's on our call. She's on the call today. And then the success coach over the nursing programs is going to be Olivia Rich. She wasn't able to make it. We have our rodeo going on here in Southwest Texas, so they're all the success coaches are out there trying to help out that way. Next slide, please. So we're a rural community college. We're about 6,500 strong. We've got 30 different high schools in our service area. 3 large high schools at which we are planning to partner with. So our goal is to essentially set up a pathway for students to be able to take prerequisites in high school and then continue all the way from getting an LVN to an RN and then eventually a BSN and an MSN without having to leave their hometowns. This would all be throughout our 3 major campuses in Eagle Pass, Del Rio, and Uvalde. So that's the focus. And this project came about because we have our annual advisory board meetings with our healthcare partners throughout the region. And obviously they're stressing to us that it's really difficult for them to get nurses in our area, especially in rural Texas. So that's why we decided to write the grant and hopefully revamp our program to pump out as many nursing students as possible. And again, the high point of this is that they're not going to have to leave their hometowns. This is all going to be in their hometowns. So if you scroll to the next slide, please, you'll be able to see that we go from, again, the prereqs in high school to the LVM program here on campus to our RN program. And then we also have a consortium agreement with San Antonio College. They allow for us to transfer our ADN program to their BSN pathway. So they'd be able to get that through them. And then we'd also be able to get them all the way up to a master's degree, again, all without leaving the comfort of their homes. And that's pretty much the short and sweet version of what we're going to be doing here.
Incredibly short and sweet. Thank you so much, though, Dr. Mondragon. It was really good to note. Okay, and last but never least, our colleagues at Texas State Technical College, TSTC, and we have a small group from them with Eric Castro and Julie and Tony and Kenneth.
Yes. Hello. Thanks, Dr. Reyes. Yes, our grant project is called the Ascend Initiative, Elevating Students from Classroom to Career in AI. I am Eric Castro, the Director of Alignment for Web Design and Development here at TSTC. We're joined today by our instructors and content matter experts, Julie Rhodes and Tony Torres. Also, our technical assistance provider, Education Strategy Group, and lead senior associate Candler is with us. And rounding out the team, but not here today, are Margaret Dickinson from Skills Engine, Senior Project Manager, and Danielle Zaragoza, Associate Director at ESG. Our program seeks to leverage our existing full stack development and database curriculum with new AI specialized courses to create multiple pathways and exit points, including stackable certificates, dual credit, non-credit, workforce, all the way up to associates of applied science. And we intend to do that by creating a workforce responsive model as opposed to traditional academics. We want to be hyper responsive to industry as the AI industry moves very, very fast. We have already conducted a curriculum gap analysis, which was our first milestone. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule on that, as well as assembled our AI Planning Advisory Committee
Thanks so
Thank you.
much. Thanks so much, Eric. Wow, you all not only fast but efficient. You sort of nailed it in about 2/3 of the time we thought. But that gives us an opportunity actually to self-introduce or to have folks self-introduce a little bit. Candler, could you like say hi and say a few words? Candler Cumbas, who's TSTC's technical assistance person from Education Strategy Group. If you
Hi.
would, that'd be terrific.
Well, thanks for allowing me to be here and be in the group. I'm Candler Cumbas. I'm a senior associate at Education Strategy Group. For folks who don't know ESG, we're a mission-driven consultancy based in DC that works across K-12, higher education, and the workforce. I sit on our post-secondary attainment team and spend a lot of my time thinking about non-degree credential quality and portability. So I'm super enthusiastic, not only about the work that TSTC is doing in this space and artificial intelligence, but the others of you have mentioned the wonderful stackable non-credit to credit pathways, the industry certifications that you're embedding in them. I think really, right, this collective group is field building, and so happy to be playing the role of sort of project manager and helping do some peer national benchmarking as TSTC builds out new programming to fill, right, as Eric said, a real demand that's here now and will continue to be here in the future. So grateful to be here.
Thanks so much. Alec Hudson from SCMMS. Would you have a chance to say hello?
Hello, yeah, happy to be here. So I represent the Center for Midstream Management and Science here at Lamar University. So we're a research and workforce development center dedicated to midstream sector. It's a growing sector, especially in Texas, and we're finding that there are many needs in that specific area that aren't being met within the current system for training employees. So everybody from industry is very excited to have some interaction with universities, two-year institutions, and bringing together, engineers and technicians to the table. Creating a common language between everyone is something that we're really focused on. So we're very happy to partner with LIT and train some of the technicians and hopefully become a center for an area where we train the country's technicians.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alec. Kim Lowry, could you introduce yourself and also have your 3 team members say hi, so we'll have them featured as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to you and Dr. Jackson for the opportunity to provide some support to our colleges and our colleagues across the state. So good morning. My name is Dr. Kimberly Lowry. I have the pleasure and honor of serving as the Vice President of the Texas Association of Community Colleges and Executive Director of the Texas Success Center, where we support the 50 community colleges across the state, all things pathways, all things student success, all things institutional reform. And I am excited to allow our technical assistance advisors representing the Success Center to introduce themselves and tell a little bit about their background. So we will start with Dr. Kimberly Moore.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and just hearing all the wonderful work that's underway and will be happening is just amazing. I come to you by way of the workforce system. I actually led the workforce system in Florida for over a decade. So I was actually Florida's youngest to lead that system, and then transitioned into academia because, of course, as we all know, we want to put the two together in that, we want to move at the speed of business. So served as an executive at Tallahassee State College in Florida, and then also on the West Coast. And then, of course, that was parlayed into national consulting with manufacturing and other areas. And I now have a national role leading as serving as an executive director, focused on manufacturing as well as clean transportation. So it was just a great opportunity to invest with my, a little bit biased, and I'm certain that my colleagues will be biased too, but my schools, Navarro and Odessa, happy to be partnering with them and leading this great work forward.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Next, we're going to hear from Dr. Tamara Williams.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Tamara Williams, and I am serving as a technical assistant for Panola, and I'm excited to work with that institution. And we've had several meetings, and just a pleasure to be part of this project. I've been in higher education for almost 30 years now, serving in multiple roles at community colleges in Ohio, Michigan, Virginia, and right now I'm in North Carolina, serving as the Chief Academic Officer at Forsyth Tech Community College, where I handle stackables and workforce credentials and embedding industry recognized credentials into curricula. And also, we're working with the BUILT model where we're having our industries co-build the curriculum as we look at higher education and workforce development in different ways. So I'm just excited to be part of this project, and I can't wait to see the results, and excited that we are moving in this direction because this is definitely needed for our workforce and to fill the talent pipeline. So thank you all for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. And last but not least, Dr. Michelle Woodhouse.
Hello, excuse me as I lose my voice. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Michelle Woodhouse. I am extremely excited to be here. I am providing technical assistance to Southwest Texas and El Paso. I want to say there are two rockstar schools. They know where they're going and they know what they want to accomplish. So it's going to be a wonderful opportunity to work with them. Much like Tamar, I'm all things academics and workforce and blending those pathways. I come to you from Tidewater Community College, where I serve as the Vice President for Academic Affairs and the Chief Academic Officer. This is my 35th year in education. I've had many roles from middle school principal, Director of Workforce Development at a four-year institution, academic dean, campus provost, and now the Chief Academic Officer. All of those things really make me well prepared to serve in this capacity. We are doing much of the same work in Virginia. We are really working to build those pathways, make them stackable, make sure that students come out with a credential and that they're able to go to work or to use that credential to advance in other ways. So this is really exciting. It was exciting to listen to all of the presentations and really understand. I really enjoyed hearing about FAME because FAME is something that we are embarking on right now at TCC. So this was just a great opportunity, and I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to be involved and to work with these two schools. So I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Woodhouse. So if you all have not picked up on it, we are so excited, and I couldn't be more proud and humbled by the technical assistance advisors we have representing the Success Center. I have no doubt that as much as we're going to learn through the process, they're going to be able to provide expertise, information, and support to the colleges they're assigned. So thank you again, Dr. Jackson and Dr. Reynes, for thinking of the Success Center in this capacity, and we look forward to embarking on this planning grant together.
Thank you, Dr. Lowry.
Reynes, can I just jump in really quickly?
Of course.
I just want to thank all of you, all the technical assistance partners. We need you, and we're so grateful you are here. And then I want to apologize because I have to exit the meeting. I have another meeting coming up in about 7 minutes. So thank you all so much for the work that you all are engaged in. This is very important work to the commissioner, and I know that he is pleased that we're all doing this together today. So thanks so much. And a shout out to Manny, who has been handling everything related to this work today on the call and in the background. I appreciate you and just wanted to say that publicly before I got off the line. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Yes, and let me echo that. I mean, the 6 of you who are involved in technical assistance provision to these 7 grantees, we've never actually configured anything in the workforce division quite like this in the past 10 years or so. So it's again one of those another first, as I think I might have expressed before, and the idea of having this kind of deep organizational and area knowledge brought to bear on the kind of design and planning challenge that everyone's got is really pretty thrilling, as is the variety of projects that you all are undertaking. I hope you all appreciate. Manny, maybe you can bring it back up to slide, I think it's slide 3, before we do the work ahead. We're going to take a break as well. But slide 3, where, you know, look at you all. That's that's pretty amazing. You span some incredibly important areas of growth and potential, not just in Texas, but as some of you said, the nation. And the thought that you as institutions will not only be supporting and anticipating the needs of your region, but also going beyond that is really tremendously exciting. You are a variety of schools. You're from a lot of different parts of Texas. Some of you are highly rural and small. Some of you are pretty big and have massive territory underneath that you're responsible for. So you vary a lot in some ways. But what clearly is important to see is that your workforce orientation, your career and technical education orientation is in response to the needs of your region and what you think, what you're forecasting is going to be important in the years ahead. And you're willing to do this kind of very basic work. What we're going to start talking about in a few minutes, we're going to take a bit of a break. But when we come back, we will be talking about some of the sort of the nuts and bolts of what we are hoping each of the project will be able to do. We have a short break and we're scheduled to come back at 11:10. So giving everybody enough time to do the bio break and water, etc. And we'll come back at 11:10. And then Kim Lowry and I will talk a little bit more in depth and take your questions, if you have any at this point, about the actual nuts and bolts of the Pathways Design and Planning grant effort, the true PDP, which you guys are pioneering. All right, everybody, thank you already for some incredible information this morning. See you back here at 11:10 Central. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hoping that you all, yes, our recording is back on, and we're welcoming you all back to our orientation and workshop for True Pathways Design and Planning, or True PDP as we're calling it fondly here in Austin. Thank you again for a wonderful first session. Now we're going to go into sort of the bit about that's more about I guess it's a little bit more about it's both orientation and workshop-y type stuff. This is about kind of the nuts and bolts of the way we've constructed this project, this initiative that you're all embarking on with such enthusiasm and energy, which we're so appreciative of. Kim Lowry and I are gonna talk first about the comprehensive nature of these planning and design efforts, and how, in sense, it sounds a little daunting at first. First we're going to talk about project outputs. Kim will talk about project outputs. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the articulated program map that is one of the sort of design tools and project outputs that we're thinking about. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the documentation of what you're doing, documenting your planning process. And then we'll have hopefully some time for Q&A if you all have some initial thoughts or questions about what we are talking about. And with that, I'll throw it to Dr. Lowry. Oh, you're on mute.
Again, you would think I'm gonna charge that to Friday.
We're
It's
talking,
Friday.
I know, I still do that too, 4 years in, you know, to all this. Oh my goodness. Anyway.
Right. So again, hello everyone. Dr. Kimberly Lowry. I'm going to go ahead, Minnie, and ask you to go to the next slide. So with this opportunity with the coordinating board, one of the things I appreciate the most is the clarity around the outputs that we're hoping for. As you've already heard, this is a planning grant, so it's a new opportunity, but it is an opportunity that, in addition to giving you all the time to plan and think about what implementation could and would look like, it's also an opportunity for the coordinating board to be able to gain and document some of the best practices or plans that you all will naturally be generating or already have as we think about a repository around this work. So what you see are 13 project outputs that the agency has already identified as being just critical assets to when we think about designing programs and credentials, some of the details or operations related to it. Many of these outputs you may already have in place at your institution. It may not be specific to the programs you're designing, but it's important for us to name them so that along the way, you're able to recognize all these aspects as you prepare for implementation. So we thought it would be a good opportunity to just elevate these 13 inputs. We know that they really are at the heart of the work. This is the tactical operational side. Each one, again, represents a critical piece of designing a comprehensive, stackable pathway from mapping programs to ensuring faculty and facilities are in place to creating advising, enrollment, and employer engagement opportunities. So you can really, again, think of these as the artifacts of the planning process. By the end of this planning grant, each college will have completed a set of these documents and plans, not only that demonstrates their readiness for implementation, but again, will serve as these practical tools that both you as an institution can carry forward as you implement future programs, but most importantly, serve as a template and a tool for others across our state that may be approaching this same type of work. So the good news is, as you all have assigned technical assistance advisors, we will make sure that we are supporting you, that we are being thought partners with you, that you're documenting these things so that there's also some consistency across this cohort as it relates to achieving the outcomes. Again, many of you may already have something comparable in place, and I think the agency welcomes you to submit what you already have. For those of you who don't, I know the Success Center will produce some templates that we'll use to kind of help build some momentum and guide you along the way, but we will also continue to elevate these outputs kind of as expectations and milestones throughout this planning grant, just ensuring that we are really creating a blueprint for, again, scaling strong student-centered pathways that connect credentials to good jobs. So with that, I'm going to pause, see if there's any questions for me about why or what, and then also welcome Sherry to join in case you have some specific questions that are more appropriate for the agency to respond to.
Thoughts, folks? It's a long list. We don't want you to be too fazed by that, since this is a lot of the stuff that you do every single day, as Dr. Lowry just pointed out. Initial thoughts? Okay, I'm pausing. We'll do something else then. We're going to do a poll. Manny, next slide, please. We'll poll you a little bit. See what you. We're trying these things out. We're not a very sophisticated tech team, but Manny is the best we've got. Pick any and all of those 13 that you think are going to be you'll need the most help with. The stuff that you don't feel like you've got nailed down already. We'd really appreciate it if you would like just go to this poll. We'll give you a minute or so or two, and then you can push submit, and we'll see what the state of the field is. We'll look at your results. Give everybody another minute or so to go down the list and check which ones you think that you might need the most time on. Okay, Manny, I think it'd be okay to go ahead and close the poll and we'll look at the results together. Interesting. You're a little bit everyone's everywhere. What do you think, Kim? I see a little bit more concern about the articulated credentials program map, but everyone, it seems like everyone's a little bit spread out depending on
Yeah,
what
I
your
would
situation
say
is.
the same. And I think it goes back to, again, these are those kind of critical parts when you think about the comprehensiveness, although I do see some trends related to, again, facilities, and we know how challenging it at times it is, even as we think about faculty recruitment for some of these programs. I talk to a lot of our small and rural colleges about just finding faculty, right, that are interested and willing to lead these programs, especially when we think about even just the salaries they earn in the marketplace or in the labor market in comparison sometimes to higher education. And then I actually appreciate seeing the articulated credentials program map. We know that that is at the heart of this. So this is great because it gives our technical assistants advisors some areas to think about as we support your colleges and making sure you have all these outputs fulfilled by the end of the planning grant.
Right. It's interesting. I'm fascinated by the conundrum that institutions find themselves in when you pick an area that's hot, when you pick an occupational area has existing high demand and anticipated demand, then folks in the marketplace working for employers are going to be making, one would imagine, premium salaries. So finding instructors, finding faculty, and trainers is not a small feat. In some ways, that's why FAME, for my mind, call out Navarro. FAME is such a cool thing because that way you don't have to think about the you do need the instructor side, of course you do, still, at your facility, but you're also leaning on the job training in a big way. And it's completely built into the program. It's one sort of answer to the difficulty of finding instructors. But I'm also fascinated by the facilities acquisition and renovation numbers being a little bit quite high. And I think that, like you said, Kim, might speak to the fact that everyone's in a kind of a different place now in terms of investing in their campuses and resources. Very fascinating to me. Thank you all for participating in our poll. We'll go on to the next slide, Manny. So one of the things you just identified, and one of the things we anticipated might be an issue or something that you're thinking a lot about because it's sort of very pointed and actually very specific, is this articulated credit program map. And if you recognize this from the RFA, you would not be, you recognize this from the RFA. This is the kind of the mapping or initial mapping that we did as an agency to try to depict what we were imagining this design and planning effort would look like. And when it really is, when I think about it as being compressed and articulated, right? The idea is to compress or accelerate movement, vertical movement, but also to anticipate and understand the horizontal. And that's one thing that's missing from this particular depiction right now. It's not as clear as it could be, but one would imagine horizontal arrows going out at every level to employment, because a lot of you are explicitly doing reskilling, and a lot of you are and upskilling, and a lot of you are anticipating that your students are working as well as going through these different credential levels, right? So it's not a straight, clean vertical, but we want to make sure that wherever a student enters or exits in the vertical, that everything is very clear and easy for them to interpret, easy for you all to interpret and facilitate and smooth their pathway. So this idea of an articulated program map, and again, this is the example that we came up with, is not potentially what your final map might look like. We find it to be a really easy, sort of good way to capture a lot of complexity, to put it simply, right? But as I said, it's missing those employment arms and fingers that would be coming out from either side of each of these levels. Did anyone have a reaction or a thought about this articulated program map? We wanted to make sure, some kind of map of this kind is what you're looking at. In fact, one of our introductory slides had a little stacked pyramid, which was another way of depicting the same kind of thing. Thoughts? So we're not encouraging, we're encouraging substantive and thoughtful work across all of you, but not necessarily identical. So again, this is like a blueprint or maybe a taking off point. That's the way I like to think about it in terms of this particular element of the planning and design work you're documenting. Any other thoughts? Kim, did you want to say anything about the map?
No, I think again, it's just an example of how important this work is, even hearing some of the projects you all are thinking about, the industries and sectors. Again, what a great opportunity as we think about workforce and economic mobility and social mobility for our state, as we think about dual credit, as we think about OSAs, ICLCs, and the opportunity to translate that pathway with all of these exit and entry points. So really excited to see how you all translate this into the programs that you're using for this grant.
I'm just jonesing for, as a bad expression perhaps, but I'm just eager to see some creative design work, even on the map itself, like a better way of depicting this. That would be brilliant too. I mean, I like this because it does what it needs to do, but you know, your creativity and your awareness and understanding about the way to diagram these things could probably contribute a lot to all of us understanding and thinking about this. And I'm seeing a chat. Yeah, don't hesitate to say things out loud, folks, because we all have your microphones. Yeah. Yep. Changes in the federal flow of federal funding flows to both students and to institutions have a big element to do with all of this, and actually make planning and forecasting harder to some extent, but also could be, I think, when we find out after the negotiated rulemaking finishes later, I guess later this year or early next on Pell and other things will be really contributive. Okay, another
Sherry,
call.
if I could just take a quick point of privilege, just because it just came through right now. I'm actually going to send this out to the VPs across our state, but with this group looking at this right now, there are 2 upcoming webinars sponsored by ACCT, one on preparing for workforce Pell and one for thinking about a bridge to opportunity and dual credit pathways in Texas. Once we get back from your next session or section, Sherry, I'll put a link in the chat in case those on the call want to consider registering for those webinars. I think it's just timely given our conversation right now.
Marvelous. Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like every single day. There's stuff to consider. And then there's also some really good opportunities to talk with folks and listen to folks who have been watching these things very closely. Next slide, please, Manny. So I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about the documentation and repository sort of effort that Kim was talking about. So again, you're the first cohort. So we want to have the benefit of what your process was and what you're learning from your process was to be able to help others in the next cohort and the next cohort going up ahead. And in a sense, I'm urging you to think of it as assembling a playbook. This is something you're going to be doing with your technical assistance advisors closely, of course, but think about what would you be giving your a colleague of yours who decided, I'm going to go do this in undersea welding. I'm going to go do this in phlebotomy technician work, you know, or whatever pathway that they're choosing. What would you want to have them know? What kinds of tools would you want to hand off? And so playbook or toolkit, we use these euphemisms a lot, but that's kind of like the way we're thinking about this element of this project. We want you to be able to illustrate the sequence of design and planning phases, hence the map we just saw, but timelines, flow charts, templates. Those things are documentation of the tools that you will be using or decided you didn't have to use perhaps, as you bring together all the different constituents in your institution, as you think about all those many elements of a comprehensive plan for implementing these pathways. Document the outreach you make to folks, the actors and stakeholders and meetings and consultations. I'm suggesting outreach as well as the actual meetings, because we all know, and I think we'll talk more about this in future meetings, that eliciting energy and expertise and attention from various parts of our institutions is always a little bit of a challenge. And maybe I'm understanding that. Sometimes it's a very big challenge, but the idea is that it's an initiative, it's an effort. We need those plugins from the advisory folks. We need those plugins from the registrar. We need those plugins from the folks who do enrollment and outreach work and marketing at work from your institution. Justin mentioned a few, the data folks, right, as well. So they sit in different locations in your institution. You need to incorporate them. And how to do that well is, I think, a really important thing. And so documenting what you tried and what kinds of meetings and consultations you did internally, I think will be really, really helpful. Final observation, but not a bad one, tips and tricks. I don't know if you all are fond of this, but when I see a playbook or any kind of guide or any kind of planning documentation, I'd like to learn what the institutions felt like they could have done better, or things that they did to solve a problem. So how to be successful or fail, actually. Everything is learning, as it says here. But the idea is don't forget to sort of incorporate your lore, your wisdom, both that you had going in and what you accrued as you went through this design and planning process in this playbook or guide that you're assembling. I'm going to pause for a minute. Thoughts on the planning process, documentation, the playbook idea? Anybody have any sort of thoughts or responses to this idea about, just in general, about what is actually a very specific, in a lot of ways, set of outputs, deliverables that this project is requiring? Because it's a lot. We know it's a lot. Don't be, and safe space, by the way. It's recorded, but still safe space. You can sort of say what you want to say. I'm curious to know if anyone is feeling a little overwhelmed at this point, frankly.
I think that it's all great. Anytime you embark on a new space, you always think, I wish there was a handbook for this so that I knew exactly what the expectations are. And so I think that it's great that all of this is coming together for future cohorts.
Thank you, Natalie. Yeah, I mean, ideally, that's the thing. I mean, you can accrue a stack of documents, a repository, a library of stuff. But unless it's it's set up in a fashion that's usable, then you're just documenting to document. We don't want to do that. We want to have stuff that folks will be able to turn to. I'm not a huge fan, but some folks just love case studies, right? Where there's like a narrative about like what the project was and how it worked and didn't work. I don't think we're going to go there right now, but I mean, does anyone like to look at case studies? Have you used those in the past as a way to try to help guide you as you're embarking on something new? A lot of our national organizations are actually, that's their bread and butter. They do that really well.
That's what I was thinking. I'm going to throw something in the chat that could be helpful for everyone. Our team at ESG, we've done a lot of work in the past on non-credit and credit alignment. So I'm throwing in the chat a report that we wrote in 2020, which is a little dated now, but I think the bones are still there. It's called A More Unified Community College. I'm also going to throw in our lesson learned guide from A More Unified Community College, because it gets to many of the very same sort of features that we're talking about today. And Dr. Reynes, if it would be helpful afterwards, and I haven't shared these with TSTC yet either, but can include some other illustrations of program and pathways maps that we've created with like Nashville State and the Detroit Regional Chamber and different partners across the country. That would be helpful to see some other examples in addition to the one that you shared.
Fantastic. And ESG is also famous for its toolkits. Actually, and I'm harkening back now, Candler. I don't know if you were at ESG at the time, but at the early part of the pandemic, there were some amazing toolkits coming out of ESG that I thought was very, very interesting on pathways as well. Now, I don't know I don't remember offhand if they were particularly for CTE pathways, but they were really very interesting. And TSC is our pathways design folks. They have been through 3.5 years or 4 years as well of guiding primarily academic pathways with the different institutions in Texas. So yes, tremendous. Any other thoughts or additions, or chime in also if you think that that there's another resource that we should be thinking of as a group. Anything else? Thank you, Candler. Terrific. So with that, then I think we're going to go into our next session just a couple of minutes early. We're being so efficient online. Our breakout group question is, what about this project? We're turning from like, oh my gosh, look at all the stuff we have to do, to more like, hey, what are you looking forward to doing? What about this project actually is exciting you? What do you think actually will push your maybe your department, division, or your institution or your region forward the most? And to do this, we're going to try this. And again, all thanks to Manny for doing the technical thing. We've broken you up into groups, your group 1 through 5. Now, some of you are not on this list. This was the attendance list as of about 9 o'clock this morning, and it has changed considerably. And some of you are not on the list because we didn't know you were attending until now. But that means pick whatever group you want to pick. The folks in blue, highlighted in blue, will be taking notes, and they'll report out after we finish our conversations together. We have about, I think I'm going to count it down about 6 minutes, or 6 or 7 minutes maybe, since we've gained some time to talk with ourselves, just share among ourselves what we are the most excited about, what we think is going to be the breakthrough stuff that we're going to be working on over the next year or so. And thanking, first of all, our reporters. Thank you very much. And we're going to ask you to do the sort of summary after we come back together in about 6 minutes. So Manny, is there something we need to understand? Yeah, we'll put the question back up. That's the previous slide. Manny, go back to the previous slide for a minute. Then we'll go back to this slide. What about this project are you looking forward to the most? Right? And then we're going to go back to the next slide, 29. Right. This is our assignment groups. Find yourself, and if you can't find yourself, assign yourself a number. Doesn't really matter. We'll have between 4 and 6 or 7, 4 to 7 people in each group, which I think will be a good way to handle that. Manny, any instructions for folks? They're going to see a panel.
Yeah, you'll see a panel, and it's kind of straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
just let me know when, and I'll start the room.
you can start it now. You can give it to us now, and we'll see you all back here in about 6 minutes. It's going to say join a breakout room.
See y'all soon.
Okay. Are we group 2?
Yes, I am group 2 here.
Okay. All right. I was trying to make sure. Okay, now I got the join. Here we go.
I'm looking for group 4.
Jenny.
all back. Good for us. And Manny, if you would, you can take off the PowerPoint. We'll just look at our face, our own faces for a minute for this next section. Thanks so much. Cool, everybody. Are we all back? We had about 26 people, so we won't double check that we're there. Hope everyone found your rooms okay. This very first time we've done it, thank you, Manny, it worked. Oh, it worked. Yes. All right, we're gonna go down the line for these different group report outs, just brief report outs of maybe 2-3 minutes each. Starting with group one. Who's our reporter for group one?
Yeah, that'll be me. Super exciting conversation. You know, I think Panola kicked us off to say we're excited about the flexibility of our learning pathways, right? We're here to serve various student populations and to provide them multiple on and off ramps to high quality education and a stackable pathway that really leads to economic mobility. Lamar said, hey, we're excited that we're partnering with a four-year institution. We're really aiming to deepen that relationship, ensure the education that we provide is interconnected. I think that's extremely important as we think about student progression along those pathways. El Paso is excited, right, to go through this process and to document the wins and the challenges along the way so that it can be taken to scaled, right? And once they have this pathway in place, we're really excited about the opportunity to expand capacity, whether that be hiring more faculty to be able to serve more students. And Dr. Lowry closed this out with saying, we're really bringing in a spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship for the community colleges. Looking at HB8, looking at Texas more field-wide, right? This is a state that is leading the way. And it's great to see so many colleges bought into a mission that is focused on serving students and create clear pathways for them over time.
Thank you so much. Group two.
Okay, so it was 6 minutes, and 6 minutes did we move very, very fast. Eric from TSTC was very excited and most interested in developing and improving the existing process for secondary education and workforce training. He's really excited to be doing something that is new and that will make improvements at his current institution. Leslie is from Navarro, I think, right, Leslie? And she's excited about establishing the FAME chapter, getting the first student cohort working and learning simultaneously. And she's also excited that within the grant, she will be able to attend the KIL conference to learn more about pathway articulation. So she's very excited. Well, we were very excited in 6 minutes. Donna, did I say it right? Donna, if I messed it up, Dana is the grant writer. And I told her she's very important because without the grant writer, we don't get these grants. And so she's a critical person, but she's excited and it comes in with a different perspective in that she gets to see the project from the beginning to the end and learn about the process of developing educational programs. She wants to see it through. She wants to be engaged. And I think that was very, very important. And I just always say, and I say this to everyone I work with, grant writers are critical. And Wissam was next. And if I messed up your name, forgive me. I did good. Okay, yes. And he is very happy to be a part of the professional team, eager to contribute to ideas for student pathways, interested in incorporating AI, and this is very important, he wants to share. He wants to create a simple, visually clear pathway design for how we do this. And he would like to have additional training activities as we move forward in doing this. But he thinks simple and clear is very important for people to understand, but also with training that goes along with that. And I basically closed this out by saying that this is exciting, and we did it in 6 minutes.
You sure did. That's fantastic. Next group three.
All right, group three, we had an exciting discussion about what they are excited about regarding this project. And so I'll start with Texas State Technical College. They are excited about implementing AI into stackable degrees. And when you think about AI is kind of ever changing and people want a lot of things. They've identified over 1,300 things that people want, and this project is allowing them to kind of narrow that down and discover what are the priorities for AI. So great job. I think that was Tony that talked about the AI. And what I took away from that is the innovation. So they're excited about the innovation with this project. The next one is Southwest Texas College. I think I got that right. And Armando is excited to rework the programs to give students a better pathway. So when you think about a pathway, taking a student from a high school all the way to a terminal degree, and that's exciting for them because when you think about the credential of values and how people really earn money and taking people on and off ramps and making sure that they have credentials that are going to gain better employment. So that was that one. And Lamar Institute, and is it Amy Army? I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Please say your name. Ami. So, and she's excited about strengthening the partnership with Lamar University, building on existing credentials and pathways. And so as a group in our little 6 minutes, we talked about the additional support. Collaboration is key to this project, and they're excited about collaboration. They're excited about the ability to lay the foundation for future projects that come after this one. Being excited about being a pilot and laying the groundwork for other projects that come after this one. And then the support that they're receiving through it's a lot of support as they support this project. So great job, Group 3. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to take on Group 4. So everyone where they sat and really informed what they wanted or were excited about. Everyone from Diana from El Paso, who was excited about the tools, looking at everyone's crosswalks and the workflow charts that they were going to come up with. Amanda from Odessa, who was excited about how this was going to help them really solve or help them get to a solution or towards a solution for the nursing shortage in their region, where both the recruitment of eligible students as well as faculty and instructors is a very big dilemma. It's been an ongoing dilemma. So they're thinking and looking and hoping for insights. To Jerry from Panola, who talked about my favorite thing in the world, prior learning and thinking about adults and how the fact that, they work with 21 ISDs, but adult learners as well have to be incorporated in this planning and design effort in a really profound and important way. To Julie from Alec from Lamar, who was talking about how this might be a way of being able to document and explain better to employers what qualified students are, what qualifications students hold in terms of skills and knowledge, and being able to strengthen that information flow and link, which is so incredibly vital to career and technical education. And finally, one of my favorites from Diana in El Paso, who said, Julie from TSTC, who said that she's just looking forward to finishing this up because she wants to be able to implement the plan that they come up with, which I thought was terrific. Group 5.
Group 5, the Mighty Two. So I had the pleasure of interacting with Tony with El Paso and Natalie with Panola. And I will point out, and everybody probably gets this, but just the diversity in the institution. So we had the 2,700 enrollment, and then we had the 26,000. Yet this is such a great tool and path that we're going down the road and journey on together. So I'll say that first. Coming from Tony's perspective, her target audience is, of course, high school students, as you pointed out, that there's 39%, so 10,000 students that they have on the high school side of it. So she was hyper excited that she gets to create another pathway and option for those students and in a high demand area. So that was really good, as well as with Natalie, where she talked about finally having, each institution has probably had the conversations about going down a journey of creating this, but now to have a serious focus as an entire institution, especially for adult learners, the CPL, the CET to credit pathways, and that not only has it allowed for alignment and unified strategy, but even on the inside with working collaboratively with teammates across the different function areas of what leading and lifting something like this will mean. It's going to create a bridge internally and how it's also going to create a bridge externally. And I think everyone agreed as kind of a bonus cherry on tops is that they get to work with technical advisors. And the other is that it's a bonus and win-win for not only the institution, the community, and the learners. So it's the trifecta. So thank you, Group 5.
Oh, you guys are awesome. We're going to flip back to the PowerPoint presentation and finish off, Manny. Wow, y'all. Thank you so much for all that feedback. It was really important stuff. I'm so glad this is being recorded. We're going to talk a little bit about what's up ahead now. Next slide, Manny. There's a lot ahead. First and foremost, you've got your first quarterly reports that are going to be coming back to us in late November. The forms, the templates for that will be sent out in October, and you'll be reporting and submitting through our True Grant Hub. That's the location where you actually put in your applications. All the logistics for that will be fully explained, and it'll be pretty easy. You'll be reporting on the benchmarks and milestones that you've accomplished in this time period and through 11, I think it's through the end of this month actually, and as well as how the expenses are flowing and how that part of it's working. Following those quarterly reports, you're going to be hearing from me and Manny. We're going to talk to you. We'll be talking to you as teams, and we'll also be talking with our TA advisors and getting sort of a sense of the field about what's going on. All of this in anticipation of our next meeting, which is in December 11th, in person in Austin. We are thrilled. It's going to be great to see all of you. We want you to make sure you get this on your calendars. The week of December 11th is actually the week of the Higher Edge Conference. A lot of folks will be traveling from your institutions already to the conference, which ends I think, on the night of the 10th. And there's some training for trustees on the 11th. So that meeting goes sort of Monday night through Wednesday. We will convene on Thursday morning. Logistics, hotels, parking, all that good stuff will be forwarded to you either in late October or early November, next couple of weeks. You'll get all the information you need about it. We're thrilled. The Commissioner Wynn-Rosser, wants to spend time with you all. And so we are going to be able to also hear his thoughts about this project, which is, by the way, the first project he's launched as our new Commissioner of Higher Education in Texas, but also have a chance to interact with you all. So really, really excited about that possibility. We'll have team time. We'll do problem-solving sessions. And we're hoping to make this as rich an opportunity to talk with each other, and talk across teams as possible. I've got a small advisory group made up of Anna and Kim and a couple of folks from Odessa. They're so helpful. All of us together are coming up with an agenda for that event, and we're really looking forward to it. Also, keep on your radar screen TACTE, which is the Texas Association of Career and Technical Education, meeting every year. It's annual meeting. It'll be late March this year in Grapevine, north of Dallas. I am so excited he was in El Paso. Yes, I know. I think I knew he was in El Paso yesterday. That's wonderful, Dr. Hajar. Yes,
Yeah.
he's on the road, in fact. And by the time we see him in December, he'll have completed a lot of these listening tour type opportunities he's been taking. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I'm so glad he made it out there. I think I knew that. And so yeah, so keep these on your calendars. Your budgets we're supposed to have some money set aside for you to be able to travel to Austin. We'll need to know more about what team members are coming, so we can plan accordingly and again try to optimize and maximize our experience together. Lastly, if any of this or anything is like turning your head sideways, and you want to like check in with THECP, did you really mean that? What are you thinking? Whatever you need. We're here. You can contact us anytime. But also, if you want us to join a meeting that you're having, or if you want us to hold a new meeting for us, we're open, we're available. So lean on us too. But I think first and foremost, lean on your brilliant, and they are brilliant, aren't they, everybody? Technical assistance advisors that we've got, this group of 5, oh my word, 6 actually. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful resources. So with that, I'm going to say thank you. What a wonderful opportunity to meet with all of you. Go at it. And we're so looking forward to talking with you again soon. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks again.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Uh,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.